WPF softball is back in Central Texas, and tonight marks the beginning of a four-game series between the Smoke and the Monarchs. And the Smoke are, well, smoking hot these days, a remarkable record of 18-1. The last time they lost was to the Monarchs, who look to get back into the win column tonight. Here is San Marcos coming to you on the official WPF YouTube channel. Brant Freeman alongside Davin Meredith, and Davin 15 wins in a row now for the Smoke. Is anybody going to slow this team down?
Well, if there's going to be a team that's going to be able to slow this Smoke team down, it's the Monarchs. Like you mentioned, they are the one loss on this Smoke's record. I mean, they are the boogeyman, but the Monarchs need to bounce back because they've dropped 5 in a row, especially after this past weekend. They dropped the entire series against Coastal Bend. See if they can knock off the Smoke one more time. In the circle tonight for Monarchs head coach Candace Fenton-Bachbrader is Aspen Wesley. Wesley pitched a couple of times the series against the Smoke back in opening weekend. Pitched pretty well. The former Mississippi State Bulldog gets her first start against the Smoke franchise this season and takes on a really impressive lineup for the league leaders, who again have won 15 in a row. And back with the team is Danae Jefferson with the U.S. national team over the past couple of weeks in Italy. She's hitting leadoff here tonight for the reigning champions. She'll be followed by Sandra Lorraine Espinoza and Morgan Howe. The first inning, hitters 4 through 6, Charlotte Eccles, Samantha Jaquish, and Jazz Hill. And then the bottom third, Samantha Schau, Maddie Grimm, and Anna Marie Bruni. So Jefferson into the box, into the circle Wesley. 5th time these two have met this season. Smoke lead the series 3-1. And we are underway. For the Smoke, just to have Jefferson back in the lineup, and as hot as they are, I mean, you can't ask for a better end to the year that they're going to have.
Smoke coming off their 4th straight weekend sweep, taking off 4 games of their series against Hub City and Lubbock last week. As Jefferson takes strike 1, and now the winning streak up to 15 games in a row. We'll check this out too. The run differential during the winning streak, nearly 100 runs more scored than the opponent. They are plus 93 in run margin. 2 balls and 1 strike.
And a lot of that success for that weekend can be given to Silent Rain Espinoza, who homered each of the 4 games against Hub City.
And Espinoza, who's on deck, has now homered in 6 straight games for the Texas Smoke. 2-1 from Wesley. That's fouled away, and the count evens 2-2.
And just to get a runner on here, obviously, early leadoff runner, especially in Jefferson, would be the ideal situation the Smoke would want to kick off this game, especially since the last time these two played, the Monarchs did take the win.
Again, that was the last time that the Smoke lost a game, all the way back on June 23rd. Only loss this season for this team. Count fills 3-2. The winning pitcher was Jaden Vickers, who threw a complete game. As Wesley gets a start here today. And Wesley, good numbers in a couple of appearances against the Smoke about a month ago. Gave up just 2 earned runs across 12 2/3 innings. Starts off the game with a strikeout. Jefferson goes down looking. Impressive start for West in the circle, and what a way to start the game.
And if you're starting in the circle, that's exactly the kind of start that you want to have, especially against a team that's so hot. But again, it's a deep order, and this lineup can hit.
Wesley working the outside corner, and Jefferson taking strike 3. 1 away here in the first, and it brings up the red-hot Silent Rain Espinoza. Just astonishing numbers for her over the past few weeks. Espinoza, again, homered all 4 games of the Adelita series. He homered the final 2 games of the Tidal Wave series. 6 straight games going deep for Espinoza. This is a fly ball to center, and St. Clair on the run, can't make the catch. And Espinoza going to wind up at second base. So a tough defensive play in center, and a 1-out base runner in scoring position now for the Smoke.
And the former Washington Husky keeps on keeping on. I mean, she's been red hot, and just to have her and Jefferson back in the lineup leading the Smoke, that's exactly what you want.
You take a look at the play again, and off the bat, where you thought that it would be easily playable, but it kept kind of carrying, and St. Clair just couldn't quite track it down. And out of the play, Morgan Howe. Runner on second and 1 away. Morgan Howe, good numbers on the year against the Monarchs. In their series they played opening weekend was 8 for 18. Hit a homer and drove in 5. And like Espinosa before her, she's found the long ball a lot as of late. 5 homers over the past 2 weekends. And drove in 8 runs in the series against the tidal wave here 2 weeks ago. Hitters count 2-0. And taken for a strike, it's 2-1.
Obviously, with runners in scoring position, Howe knows exactly how to get it done, but she's been consistent. I mean, obviously, last year winning the WPF Player of the Year, she's been outstanding and continues to show us why she's that kind of player.
Popped up into center. St. Clair able to put it away for the second out. She was charged with an error on the earlier play. But there secures the catch. 2 down here the first. And with 2 outs, it brings up Charlotte Eccles.
Again, Eccles, another Smoke player that hit a home run in the Hub City series. 2 home runs in 1 inning.
You look back at the series as a whole for this team. They hit 15 home runs in Lubbock, to include a team record 6 homers in the Game 3 win.
And if you are Wesley here, this is kind of the situation you want to start out in. You got 2 outs, you can trust your fielding and get out of this inning.
0-1, turns to a ball and a strike as Eccles bats here from Newton, Georgia. Played her college softball in the SEC in Gainesville, former Florida Gator. 2021 year in Gainesville, first team All-SEC, was a first team All-American that year. And out her second year with the Smoke. Falls behind, 2 strikes.
Wesley has her on the ropes here, but it's not like she hasn't seen competitive pitching before. Pitching in the SEC, again, kind of an important inning. I know it's the top of the first, but again, a lot dictates here and how this game continues to go on.
Well, important for the Monarchs to get out to a good start, right? Facing a team that's playing with so much confidence like the Smoke are. On the outer half, it just misses. Borderline pitch taken by Eccles. It's 2-2.
And as hot as the Smoke have been, I mean, you just have to keep in the back of your mind, this is the one loss that you have. It's against the Monarchs. I mean, of course, they're red hot, and it's shown so far, but again, you got to keep thinking in the back of your head about that.
That ball drilled right field and deep, and there it goes. Charlotte Eccles has done it again. The Smoke going deep, and it is 2-0 champs to start the game.
You think Charlotte Eccles heard me? I think she definitely did. She blasted that one over the right field wall. I mean, what a shot with runners in scoring position. Great situational hitting.
With that, and with 2 outs, too, and on 2 strikes, as you said, Davin. Remember the pitch before was a borderline miss. Eccles took a miss by Wesley in the outer half. That time left one over the heart of the plate. And Eccles going deep. Hit 3 homers last week against Hub City. Has her first of this series, a 2-out, 2-strike, 2-run homer. And now it's Jaquish batting here for the Smoke. Fouls it off the first pitch for strike 1. When now that error 2 against St. Clair in center field looming really large. She makes that catch. Maybe the inning is over.
Very well. I mean, I was going to say St. Clair looked good out there getting that, like, second out, but then that one comes back and bites you in the rear. But, I mean, she, again, you got to keep thinking if you're in center field, this inning could be over if I didn't drop that ball. But in the case of the pitcher and being in the circle for Wesley, you got to keep pitching.
Well, now Wesley had 0-2 to Jaquish. And like Janae Jefferson, Jaquish not with the team over the past couple of weeks with the national team, playing an international play to include a trip to Italy. That ball drilled to left, and that's going to bounce off the wall. Jaquish smacks a single hard off the wall on the left. Another 2-out hit for the Smoke, and this inning's not over yet.
And what do they say? Hitting's contagious, and that just goes to show, I mean, if you're Wesley, you just got to have your confidence right now and gain it back and get out of this inning. You were so close before, but look at that hit right there, just off the wall. Good fielding to get that one back in to prevent a double.
Yeah, it looks like Cat Tarbin, Smoke head coach, is going to bring in a pinch runner. And Morgan Howe is going to pinch run for Jaquish over at first base as Jazz Hill comes up. Well, Savannah Jaquish, too, has just had her way against this team. Opening weekend had some big numbers to include a 4 RBI night opening day. And for the season now, 6 for 11 against the Monarchs. 2-out base hit there moments ago, bringing up Jazz Hill here, who's behind 0-1.
And again, Hill, another Smoke player that homered in Game 3 versus the Hub City last week. And then right here for Wesley, this is the situation that you want to be in. 0-2, pitchers count, slow down your rhythm, take some breaths, trust your infield and trust your outfield, and just get out of this inning while you can. Solid pitch right there for Wesley. Obviously dropped in the dirt, but again, just trying to feel your way through, play it safe, and again, just get out of this inning while you still can.
1 ball, 2 strikes. That's a miss inside, 2-2. Again, the bat here, Jazz Hill from Norwalk, California. Splitter time between the SEC and the Pac-12. The bulk of her college experience at Tempe at Arizona State. There for 4 seasons. Final year, Texas A&M. Facing off against an SEC pitcher here in Aspen Wesley. 5 years in Starkville with Mississippi State. One of 3 Bulldogs to sign pro contracts this offseason. And now one of 26 Bulldogs ever to play pro softball. Fly ball to center. St. Clair going back. That is caught at the warning track. And Jazz Hill just missed going deep herself. But the Smoke did go deep in the inning. Charlotte Eccles, a 2-out, 2-strike, 2-run homer. Well, this team is on a ride right now. The Texas Smoke, winners of 15 straight, have staked an early 2-0 lead over the Monarchs as we go to the bottom of the first inning. You're watching WPF Softball on the official WPF YouTube channel. And getting the start tonight for the Smoke is Samantha Shao, who's pitched really well in this ballpark this season. In 2 games against the Monarchs opening weekend, 16 innings pitched, gave up just 2 earned runs to include 9 innings and an extra inning win on opening weekend. And she already has a 2-0 lead, courtesy of a Charlotte Eccles 2-out, 2-strike, 2-run bomb. It is 2-0 Smoke on top of Shao. Gets ready in the circle. She'll face a lineup that looks like this for the Monarchs, led off by Briley St. Clair. She'll be followed by Kylie Sand and Sarah Vanderford, and then hitters 4 through 6, Kelly Torres, Lily Piper, and Emily Hott. Batters 7, 8, and 9, Susie Brookshire, Sona Halajan, and Devin Flaherty. The Monarchs in an early 2-0 hole for a team trying to snap a 5-game losing skid. All right, so here we go. St. Clair against Shao. The Monarchs got swept this past weekend by the tidal wave. Second series loss to Costa Bend over the last 3 weeks. And if you go even further beyond the last 5 games, the Monarchs have dropped 8 of their last 11. And as a result, they've gone from 2 games over 500 to now 3 games below, and are currently in a tie with the tidal wave for second. But of course, the tiebreaker would go to the tidal wave. So far, they lead that season series 6-1.
And the Monarchs for Game 4 against the tidal wave, they got so close. They got 2 runners on with I believe the tying run on deck, and they just could not capitalize on the situation. But at the end of the day, you can come back out here and try to get one on the reigning champs.
Dropped in for a strike by Shao. 3 balls and 1 strike to Briley St. Clair from Sand Rock, Alabama.
St. Clair, the Female Athlete of the Year finalists of the 2024 NIL Summit.
Big social media presence for Briley St. Clair.
Taking advantage of those NIL opportunities that keep getting bigger and bigger as time goes on. It's going to be a changing game for not just football, but also for softball.
And takes strike 3 looking. So how about Samantha Shao? Falls behind 3-0, battles back, and strikes out St. Clair, 1 down to the inning.
And St. Clair, I think she had a walk there just then, walking closer over to first base and then realizing what the umpire had just called her out. I mean, look at this pitch. It was just right down the middle. St. Clair just watching it go by. I mean, she thought she had a walk, but that's exactly how you want to start off if you're Shao.
1 up, 1 down brings up Kylie Sand, swing at a foul for strike 1. Talk about social media. The big presence for the league in the WPF is on Instagram, where you see a lot of the social media posts, and the official WPF Instagram handle is @WPro Fastpitch. Almost 34,000 followers, and all 4 of the teams also have Instagram pages as well. The Smoke at the Texas Smoke, and the Monarchs at Monarchs Pro FP.
You can see a lot of our quality camera work from replays and home runs and all sorts of highlights from our amazing camera crew.
Yeah, you're saying that tongue-in-cheek right now. I know that because you have gone from behind the camera to into the booth.
Exactly. I have a really
So you're talking about your own camera shots.
Well, not all of mine. Definitely not mine. Maybe Krista, you know, but definitely not me.
1 ball, 1 strike to Sand. That's high, 2-1.
Taking a step out of the box here for Sand, just regrouping and taking a breath, because we know how dominant of a pitcher Shao can be.
On the ground to the right side. Taken care of by Janae Jefferson. 2 up, 2 down for Shao here in the first inning.
And the Smoke are definitely glad to have Jefferson back over there at second base. I believe Espinoza was taking over for a little bit over there. But again, just 2 players again you love to see on the field at the same time.
Yeah, again, Janae Jefferson with the national team over the past couple of weeks. And back with the Smoke this weekend, along with Savannah Jaquish, the catcher for the Smoke. Nobody on, 2 away for Sarah Vanderford. And that is a fair ball. So a quick 1-2-3, bottom of the first for Samantha Shao. Good glove work by Espinoza at first base. And the Smoke have claimed an early 2-0 lead. Through one, we go to the seconds. Back after this from beautiful San Marcos. Well, how about the ride that Kat Tarvin's team is on right now? Winners of 15 straight. They've picked up sweeps over the past 4 straight weekends. Twice sweeping Hub City, twice taking care of Coastal Bend, and now a rematch with the Texas Monarchs, who haven't played since opening weekend. The only team this year that the Smoke haven't swept. They were up in that series 3-0 before the Monarchs won the finale, and with that, the only blemish on the Smoke's record this season, a dominant record of 18-1. Right now, you got a 2-way tie for second behind the Smoke. Coastal Bend and the Monarchs both 10 games back. It just kind of feels like the regular season crown is all but a formality for the Smoke at this point.
Exactly, and at this point it almost feels like reps for them, but also just to keep the Monarchs in mind that they are the reigning champions and they are going to keep winning and keep winning. But again, they've got that blemish. They want to try to forget it and erase it.
Samantha Shaw, great 2-way player. Saw her in the circle navigate through the order, 1, 2, 3. Now leading off here in the seconds. Shaw, a 2-way player of both Texas A&M and Oklahoma State in her college days. Was an All-American in her lone season in Stillwater. That was back in 2019. Great work in the circle and great work at the plate. 20 homers for the Cowgirls that year.
And Xiao just knows how to win in the pro leagues and in college, appearing in the Women's College World Series both with A&M and also OSU.
I know at times we have played Fashion Police here on the broadcast, and every time Xiao plays in a game, you can't help but notice those long pants.
Oh, yes, the ones that go all the way down to the cleat.
All the way down,
Yep.
That's right. No high socks for
No.
her. Are you a fan?
I think so. I think it looks good. I think it looks different. It doesn't look great there as she strikes out, but you know what? It's definitely a look that I could not pull off.
Well, she'll take those long pants back into the dugout. A swing and a miss, and the second strikeout for Wesley. 1 out in the second, and it brings up Maddie Grimm.
Again, Grimm, one of another many Smoke players who have homered against that Hub City team over the past weekend.
You may have noticed a huge jump in the numbers in terms of runs scored and home runs hit across the league. All 4 teams got these pro bats in a couple of weeks ago, and if you remember the first series of the year between these two, the final scores were relatively low. You know, same thing for the following weekend when the Monarchs hosted the Adelitas. They were 2-0 games and 3-1 and 4-2. But man, since then, look out. The Smoke again, 15 homers last week as Vanderford handles the easy pop-up. And 2 weeks ago, when the WPF had all 4 teams here, we had 4 straight days of double headers where the ball was just flying out of the yard.
No, I mean, these girls know how to hit. Obviously, they're at the professional ranks for a reason, but it's just impressive to see in person. I mean, you come out here and they're just hitting bomb after bomb, home run after home run, triples, doubles, everything in between. But it's very impressive that you also have to appreciate the pitching as it comes as well and how good these girls are, too.
Ground ball not handled by Wesley. What looked to be a kind of a routine play, and Wesley was going to get that 1-2-3 frame of her own, but the second error of the game to the Monarchs will extend this inning. Again, really tough to do that against this offense. You have the chance for that third out, you need to take it.
Yes, no, for sure, and it's going to be a costly error on the pitcher's count, but also not only do you get runner on, you also get to the top of the lineup with Janae Jefferson and Espinoza coming up. So not exactly the ideal situation the Monarchs find themselves in.
So Anna Marie Bruni is on with 2 outs, and that'll lead to a meeting in the circle here with the infield and pitcher Aspen Wesley. You kind of see all the players hovering around the vet, Lily Piper, longtime pro, playing at first base here tonight for the Monarchs. Wrapped up her college career in the late 2010s with Ohio State. Somebody that this team leans on for leadership. Heard Bill Colhane, one of the partners in your seat, kind of mentioned that Piper's been the mom of the team.
No, for sure, and she's definitely has the stats to come along with it. I mean, she's had some big hits in these games as well, and she's a leader that this team leads on, and also the coaching staff probably leans on as well.
Here's Jefferson. Struck out against Wesley the first time they faced each other. Takes ball 1. Why do you think the role is limited to mom of the team? And we talked about why there isn't a dad of a baseball team, but is there not an aunt,
I mean,
a grandmother,
maybe a cousin,
niece of the team?
an uncle, maybe? I don't know.
Now, to be fair, I'm not sure what does that mean the role is.
Is it you take care of the player, you take care of everyone, make sure everyone's
sure.
got their socks on?
Yeah,
or?
from mom, that makes sense.
Yeah, the mom makes sense.
Right, but like if you're talking about the aunt and the niece, I'm not sure what does that mean they're doing exactly with the team.
And maybe that's why they stick with the mom title, so it's like very descriptive, very easy.
And Bruni takes off for second, and she'll take it. And so Bruni hit that grounder right back to Wesley. The error now still on the base, and now finds herself in scoring position.
And again, the Monarchs find themselves with 2 outs, just trying to get out of the inning. With Janae Jefferson, a very good hitter up to bat.
They were looking at Monarchs catcher Kelly Torres. Now the count 3-1, and the red-hot Silent Rain Espinoza waits on deck. Janae Jefferson, a career .431 hitter at the University of Texas. The Big 12's all-time leader in hits. And Jefferson owns 12 records herself at her alma mater up in Austin. Full count, and that is lined into right, a base hit. Bruni's got some speed, heading for home, and she is out of the plate. Susie Brookshire guns a throw to home, and a great tag by Torres to end the inning. And what a defensive play by the Monarchs to keep this a 2-run game.
What composure by Torres to hold on to that ball and make that out.
So again, a couple of errors in the game for the Monarchs, making up for it with a play like this. Brookshire right to Torres on a rope. This remains a 2-0 game as we go to the bottom of the second. Let's take you back to that great defensive play at the end of the top of this inning. So Jefferson chopping a base into the right side, and look at Brookshire. In one motion, Fields fires Piper bluffing as the cutoff player in the infield. Torres, a great job blocking the plates, and Bruni dead to rights. What a throw, what a tag, and what a play for the Monarchs.
Like you said, Brant, that throw was just on a rope, and Torres to just hone that ball in and make the tag through all the scuffle, very impressive.
I guess who leads off the inning at the plate? That is Kelly Torres, and takes it for strike one on the call from Antonio Flores behind the plate. There, look at Susie Brookshire from Hollister, California.
I think that's why she makes those plays, the former Big Sky Player of the Year. I think that's why she won that award, probably.
Well, that, and also has been a member of the Mexican women's national team since 2017. She's been playing this game for a long time, doing so at the international level over the last 7 years. You don't get to this level, the WPF, the international level, you know, high Division I level, without making plays like that.
Mm-hmm.
Foul back, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Kelly Torres from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Spent all 4 years in Durham playing for the Duke Blue Devils. Kind of a cool moment for her. Opening weekend, shortly removed from her Duke career. Had a pinch hit 2-run double against her ex-Duke teammate who she caught for, Jayla Wright. Part of that win for the Monarchs against the Smoke back in opening weekend.
Torres has been a key part of this Monarchs team, even as a rookie. She's come in and just really held down that catcher position and made the most of it, especially when you make plays like that in the inning.
You know, at first pitch, beautiful, 87 degrees outside, sun was out, but now got some clouds above here at Bobcat Softball Stadium.
It's supposed to be a rainy weekend, but I don't think it's going to touch us today.
Don't you dare jinx it.
I know, I just did.
Ground ball to third, Eccles. Good play in the infield there by the Smoke. Charla Eccles, a great pick and throw of her own. And with that one down here in the second inning off a fantastic play at third made by Eccles.
Talking about Torres holding down the catcher position, Eccles has been holding down that third base position all year long for the Smoke, making constant plays just like that, making them exactly routine as they are.
The 2 third basemen in this game, Eccles for the Smoke, Vanderford for the Monarchs, 2 of the top-rated defensive third basemen of the country in college, and there it is, Eccles doing it again. Made that look routine. So back-to-back ground balls her way, both times comes through.
Right on cue, right? No, both third basemen for the Smoke and Monarchs, Vanders and Eccles. I mean, they've been as consistent can be. And Vanderford, of course, a rookie, locking that position down. I believe they had her at second base to start the series against the Smoke. So not her natural position as we've seen her here at Texas State, but kind of back where she belongs over there at third, too.
Nobody on, 2 out for Emily Hott. On the appeal, does she go? And she does, says Jermaine O'Gwen over at third base. 0-1 to Hott. Last time she played a game here at Bobcat Softball Stadium, hit a solo homer against Hub City. For a player that went deep 11 times for Baylor this year. Great season at Waco for a program that wound up in the Super Regionals after winning a hard-fought regional in Lafayette.
And 20 career home runs at Baylor, and 11 of those 20 coming from this past season.
2 balls and a strike with Susie Brookshire waiting on deck. So far, 5 up, 5 down for Samantha Schau. Chopper to third. Well, that ball just a magnet for Charlie Eccles at third base and makes another play. Every out in the inning, a 5-3 putout courtesy of Charlie Eccles. Sure-handed at the hot corner in the entire inning. And with their third straight put out from third, we go to the third inning. 2-0 Smoke on top. A lot of really good defensive plays in the second inning. Now we go to the third. It is a 2-0 lead for the Smoke in what is the fifth ever meeting between these two franchises. So far, Smoke lead the series 3-1. First game of this weekend series. 2-0 lead for the Smoke, and leading off here, Silent Rain Espinosa should be followed by Morgan Howe and Charlotte Eccles here in the third inning. A 1 and no strike count. Now it's 1-1. You look back at that series, these two played opening weekend, some memorable games. Smoke won the opener behind a stellar start from Samantha Shao. 7 strikeouts in 7 innings, only gave up 2 earned runs. And Savannah Jaquish, a 4 RBI night, driving in all 4 runs for the Smoke in that game. But how about game 3? Maybe the game of the year so far in the league. A game the Smoke won 8-7. Did so in 13 innings, went 4 hours that night. The 2 clutch hits, courtesy of Silent Rain Espinosa. Here, fist one to St. Clarence Center for the first out. Espinosa with 2 outs drove in the tying run of the 7th inning against Wesley. And then in the 13th inning, it was Charlotte Eccles, the walk-off double, to finally end that game in the 13th. And Shao didn't start that game, but pitched in relief. The final 9 innings did not give up a run.
When you got depth like that from the Smoke, I mean, it's just possible. You go up and down the order, eventually someone's going to make the hit. When you can have that kind of confidence in a lineup and a team, especially when it comes to batting and pitching, I mean, you're going to win softball games.
Here's Morgan Howe, who's 0 for 1. Were you running camera for that particular game?
I was not. I was working some shifts over at the Griff's Mill, but, you know, I was staying tuned. Keeping up.
You know, a lot of the audience is not familiar with San Marcos. These players coming from all over the country and some parts all over the world. So we spent some time educating the audience about San Marcos. So when you mention gristmill, if you're a San Marcos native, yeah, you know what the gristmill is. But the audience may not know that. So but by all means, indulge us.
I will indulge y'all. Yes, the gristmill is about 20 minutes away from San Marcos in New Braunfels, Texas. It's a great restaurant. Not going to plug it that much, but that's where I work on part-times besides working camera and also coming up here to the booth with you.
There you go. In Green, Texas.
Green, Texas,
spelled
yes.
Grune.
Great little tourist spot. They have Green Hall, of course. That's very historic to us in Texas. Had some really top-notch performers. I believe George Strait went down there and performed as well. Famous country singer.
Now that I think our audience knows of. There's a ground ball, handled easily by Sam. 2 up, 2 down for Wesley in the third. Nobody on, 2 outs, and it brings up Eccles who went deep. In her first at-bat, the only runs of the game off of her 2-run homer.
And besides that 2-run homer, I mean, Wesley's kind of settled into this game thus far. Of course, Eccles is now up. She's got to get past her to once again get out of this inning. But so far, again, Wesley's kind of settled into this matchup.
Strike 1. You brought it up earlier. Eccles last week against Hub City hit 2 homers in an inning. Inning that saw the Smoke score 10 times. They've had so many big innings this year.
And they can happen, obviously, at any point. You come into an inning, think you've got them on the ropes, and then they'll rattle off 10 on you.
We saw a 10-run inning from this team in their series against Hub City here a few weeks ago. Against the Monarchs, opening weekend had a 7-run first inning, which included a grand slam hit by Jazz Hill. Who bats 6th in the order for the Smoke here tonight.
Smart take there by Charlotte Eccles. Obviously, it was in the dirt, but she's a smart hitter. She's looking for that exact same pitch she got from Wesley in the top of the first.
A defensive swing there by Eccles. Stays alive. Count remains. 2 balls and 2 strikes. You look at the league standings, and again, the Smoke. A 10-game lead for first. The Tidal Wave and Monarchs tied for second. Both teams 8 and 11. And Hub City in fourth right now at 4 and 15.
And the Monarchs just on that losing streak, trying to find themselves again.
Eccles, fly ball to left. Easy play for Emily Hotz. First 1-2-3 inning of the night for Aspen Wesley. Besides a mistake made to Eccles, she is settled in, keeping this a 2-run game. And now the bats coming up to the plate, looking to climb back in it. 2-zip, Smoke on top as we go to the bottom of the third. Two 2-0, Smoke on top. Monarchs batting for head coach Candace Fitton-Bachbrader here in the bottom of the third inning. Trying to get something going against Samantha Shao. Shao so far 2 scoreless innings, 6 up, 6 down. And the Monarchs have had a tough time facing Shao this season. She's now turned in 18 innings in the circle against this Monarch team. And with points, just 2 runs surrendered. Coming up in the inning for the Monarchs, it is Brookshire, Halajan, and Flaherty. Bottom third of the order batting for the home team here in San Marcos. Brookshire going up there swinging right to Eccles, who makes another phenomenal play. Oh my goodness, that is 4 straight balls she has handled. None better than that And what a play to get the first out of the inning.
What a play by Charlotte Eccles. We were talking her up mostly all game long, talking about that third base position that she's just been so consistent at all year long. I mean, this is hit hard, and she just scoops it up, makes the play, gets it over to first, and gets the first out of the inning.
Boy, her ability to not only field the ball so well, but then after making such a great play to get it, to be able to throw on target to first base in time as well, it's just so impressive at third.
Oh, for sure, and she's able to gather herself, box up her shoulders, and make that throw. It's extremely impressive and very hard to do, especially at this level.
Holojan right back to Shao. 2 outs. You know, every game we have a player of the game that we highlight, show their big hit, their big defensive play, whatever the case may be that that player made to be player of the game. And I say right now that Charlotte Eccles hasn't beat on that.
Well, don't jinx her yet, but yeah, she is definitely in the running and definitely in the lead for sure, especially when it comes to her fielding, obviously the home run. I mean, very impressive day thus far for Charlotte Eccles.
Nobody on, 2 out for Devin Flaherty. Monarchs still looking for the first base runner of the game. As Flaherty calls for time to retire shoes.
And of course, if Flaherty can get on, she stole over 100 bases in her career with FSU, ranking 7th. So she has some wheels once she's on.
A good hitter at the bottom of the order here for the Monarchs in her first year as a pro. 4-time All-ACC in Tallahassee, earned second-team All-Conference honors this year. Two balls and 1 strike. Last time Flaherty was here facing Hub City in a 4-game series was 3 for 9. Scored 3 times in a series, the Monarchs split. That was a really interesting series. Hub City, who the Monarchs swept here in San Marcos a couple of weeks prior, run-ruled the Monarchs in the first game. But then the Monarchs came back, won games 2 and 3 to include an extra inning win. As Flaherty draws a 2-out walk for the Monarchs' first base runner. It was Sarah Bannerford with a walk-off 2-run homer to win that game. The next day, they jumped all over the Atalitas early. It was 7-2 after 2 innings. But then Hub City kind of really turned the game on its head, turned it upside down, and they run-ruled the Monarchs 15-7.
The Atalitas definitely had a spark, and you can definitely see them grow as the season has gone on. They've gotten very impressive with their situational hitting. Their resilience, more or less, has just been outstanding. I mean, they don't go down without a fight, you know, and they've gotten run ruled, but they've also, like you said, been doing the run ruling. So I honestly have been really impressed watching the Atalitas and how they've grown thus far this season.
Speaking of Hub City, the Atalitas and Coastal Bend have postponed their game today. They'll play a doubleheader tomorrow. One of the easier plays that Eccles has been tasked to make in this game, and does. And we go to the 4th inning. So far, Samantha Shao, 3 scoreless and hitless innings in the books in the circle for the Smoke, who lead 2-0. And we're back at Bobcat Softball Stadium. 2-0, Smoke on top of the Monarchs. Aspen Wesley ready to go back to work. She has retired the last 3 batters. She went 3 up and 3 down in the 3rd inning. And looking to carry that momentum into the 4th to keep this a 2-run game. She'll face Savannah Jaquish, Jazz Hill, and Samantha Shao. Batters 5, 6, and 7 here in the 4th inning. Brant Freeman alongside Davin Meredith. Glad to have you with us on the official WPF YouTube channel. We'll have all 4 games of the series for you here in San Marcos. Jaquish leads off the 4th here for the reigning champion Texas Smoke and takes a strike from Wesley.
Wesley, again, I know I've mentioned it and sound like a broken record at this point, has really settled into this game so far. I mean, she had the little spat against Eccles in the top of the 1st, but she's definitely taking command of this game. She started trusting her infield and outfield, and again, some amazing plays made out in the outfield as well.
Wesley, 2nd team All-SEC with Mississippi State this year. Tied a school record with 9 wins in the SEC this season. Jaquish with a fly ball that's going to drift out of the reach of Lily Piper, and the count remains no balls and 2 strikes.
Wesley again. Pitcher's count, just you can tell by her composure and just the way she's entering the circle now. It's just a lot more relaxed, a lot slower. Of course, she probably didn't want to do that one right there as Jaquish falls over. Hopefully she's all right, grabbing her arm as she makes her way down to 1st. But besides that right there, I mean, she's been doing a pretty solid job in the circle.
So Jaquish, a painful way to get to first base. The unprotected arm there, her right arm, trying to shake it off. Team trainer comes over as well, taking some of the gear, and it looks like Jaquish is going to stay in. There you see it, thumbs up back in the dugout. Jaquish from Highland, California, a tremendous SEC player in her own right at LSU. Is on first base to lead off the inning, and that's going to bring up Jazz Hill. So a lot of the SEC to start this inning here. The batter, Jaquish, LSU, the first batter. And now here, Jazz Hill, Texas A&M, facing the Mississippi State product, Aspen Wesley.
The SEC is just as competitive in football as they are in softball. Ground
ball to short. Bobbled by Flaherty. Able to recover, though, in time to get the force plate second to Kylie Sand. That'll lead to a force out and 1 away in the inning. Possibility of a double play there, but Flaherty couldn't field it cleanly.
And you know what? Good on Flaherty to keep her composure and get the out, the guaranteed out at second. I mean, I know they definitely probably wanted to turn the double play and get closer to getting out of this inning, but at that point, you can take what you can get.
Fielder's choice brings up Samantha Shao. And takes a strike here from Wesley. Again, these two went head-to-head in that 13-inning game. Wesley went 8 2/3. Only gave up 2 earned runs before the game was finally won by the Smoke. And Shao again, 9 scoreless innings. And a game that went 4 hours on opening weekend.
Shao has just been a dominant 2-way player, and she can do it obviously in the circle and in the box. I mean, she's been impressive in her college ranks and also in the WPF.
1 ball, 1 strike. Shao with a butt, pops it up, and Torres makes a sliding catch.
What a play by Torres. Just completely made it look effortless almost on a play that could easily have gone the other way.
And she's made a couple of plays of her own behind the plate here tonight. A great tag at home after a good throw from Brookshire, and here a sliding catch in front of the Smoke dugout. Locates it, slides, and secures it. 2 outs now in the inning, and it brings up Maddie Grimm. No sliding catch this time. That's out of play.
Torres has definitely been reliable behind the plate. Again, that throw from Brookshire earlier to get them out of the inning was also a lot on Torres. She was able to hold her composure, hold on to the ball, and make the tag, even though it was almost a guaranteed out.
Now past the halfway point of the season, all 4 teams have played 19 games now. Grimm with a fly ball to right. That's hooking foul. That'll play again. The count's going to run to a ball and 2 strikes here to Grimm.
She was just a little early on that one. She definitely could have straightened up, waited a little millisecond longer, and that one could have been gone.
And only a few short weeks of postseason will be here in the WPF. Swing and a miss. Wesley with another strikeout. That is her 3rd. So again, beyond the 2-out homer hit by Charlie Eccles, Aspen Wesley cruising for the Monarchs. She's done her job. It's time for the offense to do theirs. Looking to scratch across some runs against Samantha Shao when we come back. And we're back out at Bobcat Softball Stadium. Maybe Janae Jefferson's family in attendance there, enjoying the opener of this series. Some fans enjoying the ballpark snacks as well. It looks like popcorn and Chex Mix.
Got some
sunflower seeds
sunflower,
as well.
yes.
Yeah. It was funny. We were kind of talking with our production team before the game got going about favorites food combo in terms of dunking one item into another. And our producer, Victoria Heim, fan of the biscotti cookies into airline coffee.
I was about to say specifically into airline coffee.
Right.
Yes, it's no other coffee, just airline. At least that's what I heard.
Do you have a favorite dunking combo?
Can I be generic?
What, a donut and coffee?
No, I was going to go cookies and milk.
Yeah, that's generic.
That's generic, okay. I'll come back to you here in a minute.
See, mine, all-time favorite, a Frosty with French fries from Wendy's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Makes it specifically from Wendy's, though.
All the different textures there, right? You know, the crisp of the French fry, the cold sweets, you know, of the Frosty, the fries hot. You get just kind of mix of everything there.
Okay. All right. I'll have to go to Wendy's.
This is not a commercial, by the way. Sam with the fly ball to the left. Coming in is Jazz Hill. And Sanders 0 for 2. Flies out to start the bottom of the 4th inning.
Samantha Shao just doing her thing as usual. Giving the Smoke team a chance to put some runs on the board. Of course, again, besides Charlotte Eccles, homer in the top of the 1st. Both teams are kind of landlocked right now when it comes to runs.
You know, I can't think of any ballpark combos you would do that with. Although I seem to recall seeing a video once of someone doing something just disgusting. That was cutting a hole through the middle of the hot dog, use it as a straw to drink their beer from. I mean,
Okay.
what is that?
I mean, I can't say I've ever thought of doing that.
Nor would any regular, normal human being.
Was it here at Texas State?
No, oh God,
Okay,
no,
okay.
no. Major League Baseball game.
Okay, all right. That, you know what? Those things can happen over there. Oh, yeah, no, I can never say I've ever thought about that one. But, you know, hey, to each his own, I guess. I possibly might have to try it now. I'm kind of slightly curious.
That's all you, man.
Okay, all right.
And the fan that was doing it, you could tell that he was slightly embarrassed by it, was trying to be very inconspicuous about it. But somebody a few rows behind him caught him in the act
So
of
there was
doing
no
it.
confidence in it. There was shame in it. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
100%.
Never mind. I might have to.
So if there's shame in it, the choice of doing so in a stadium that seats 50,000 is an odd decision.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's a bold choice. You have to have some form of confidence to do that.
Vanderford fly ball to center, and that is belted and wake on. Off the tool shed in deep center field for Vanderford. And the Monarchs are on the board as Vanderford goes deep again.
What a shot by Vanderford, as we're familiar with seeing her in this ballpark making those kind of hits, but wow, what a shot. And they bring the Monarchs within one of this game.
No doubt. You see Bruni give it a little bit of a jog, turns and looks, and that bangs off the side of the tool shed just shy of the roof. And Vanderford goes deep. She hit 2 homers the last time she played here in her home ballpark as she played at Texas State. The last time the Monarchs played against Hub City, homer twice in that series. Torres here pops up, handled by Espinoza for the second out. Yeah, but back to Sarah Vanderford again. A homer moments ago, putting this team on the board. The first hits of the night against Samantha Shao is a 1-out solo bomb hit by Vanderford. One of those 2 homers she hit against Hub City a couple of weeks ago was the walk-off shot of the 8th inning. Now a 1-run game as Piper takes strike 1.
And her collegiate career has just completely transitioned over to her professional career. I mean, she finished her career ranked first in the program here at Texas State with 40 career home runs. I mean, and she continues to bring that kind of skill set over to the professional ranks. Very impressive.
Quickly, no balls, 2 strikes to Piper. Maybe check at her steps. We know this, she went around all 3 bases in home plate. Got a lot of the steps in there. 0-2. That turns to a ball and 2 strikes now to Piper, who's 0 for 1 in this game. Piper herself, some big numbers in that Adelita series a couple of weeks ago. 6 for 13. Homered twice herself. Talked about player of the game honors that we give out in the broadcast. Piper was a player of the game in one of those wins against Sub City. Vanderford was the other after hitting that walk-off bomb. Ground ball is short. Nice backhand by Graham, and we're going to go to the 5th inning, but not before we see Sarah Vanderford going deep. A solo shot off of Samantha Shao has put the Monarchs on the board. And this was a Vander bomb. Deep to center, cut this lead in half. We go to the 5th. The score now 2-1. Smoke on top of the Monarchs. So far, the only offense this game has been homers. A 2-run shot from Charlotte Eccles with 2 outs in the first inning, and then a 1-out solo homer by Sarah Vanderford to the 4th. So with that, a 2-1 game as we go to the 5th. Smoke on top of the Monarchs. Anna Marie Bruni leading off here in the 9-hole for the Smoke. Should be followed by Janae Jefferson and Silent Rain Espinosa.
Top of the order coming up here for the Smoke. You definitely want to tack on some runs now that the Monarchs are within striking distance.
1 ball, 1 strike. Wesley has retired 6 of the last 7 she's faced. 4 innings the book so far for the ex-Bulldog, and has struck out 3. And the one mistake, that 2-run homer hit by Eccles.
And you know, you can think back on that inning with that error by St. Clair in center field. What could have been? Could this have been a Monarchs possibly 1-0 game right now? But of course, you have to think in the moment when you're in the circle.
Fly ball to left, and backing on it is Emily Hott near the warning track. Able to get on her horse and make that play. And 1 out here in the 5th inning.
And this defense has definitely just settled in too, especially in the outfield and the infield. They're making the plays that are routine and can get the necessary outs to get out of the innings and hopefully for the bats go and score.
Hott made that look easier than it was. She was kind of playing shallow, anticipating a deep fly ball hit by Bruno the opposite way. Had to track it down, kind of turn her shoulder to make that catch. Good veteran outfielder for Baylor. Seen her play both center and left as a pro. Jefferson with the fly ball is finding Hott again. This time a little bit more routine, and now there's 2 outs, and Jefferson retired. Nobody on base. That's going to bring up Silent Rain Espinosa.
And Wesley's just, again, trusting her defense right now and throwing the pitches that she knows are going to be safe outs, and trusting the outfield, trusting the infield, and able to get some strikeouts of her own throughout this game.
1 ball, no strikes to Silent Rain Espinosa. Oh for 2 with the run scored. Was the beneficiary of that error in center made by Briley St. Clair. Nice off speed, dropped in for a strike by Wesley. Evens the count, 1 ball and 1 strike.
And when you're able to trust your defense and you're able to get those outs, you can throw those off-speed pitches and trust your pitching and get into your bag and mess around a little bit and see if you can get some strikeouts while you're at it. But as we've seen time and time again from this Smoke team, they can drop runs on you no matter what inning it is. How late in the game, how early, how rough it's been through their lineup, they can drop runs on you no matter what time of the day it is and what inning it is. And that could all start right here with Silent Rain Espinosa, who's been very hot as of late.
A chance for Wesley to record her second 1-2-3 inning of the night. Did she go? No, says Jermaine O'Gwyn at third, and so Espinosa draws a 2-out walk. And that is the first walk of the game given up by Wesley. And so now with 2 outs, it's going to bring up Morgan Howe. A little bit of the danger zone here if you're Wesley. A 2-out walk extending the inning to the heart of the order, facing it a 3rd time through now. Has been some throwing in the Monarchs bullpen. Not that Wesley's pitching poorly. It's been the opposite of that. She's been great tonight, but again, you face this lineup multiple times through, makes life really tough. And that is Alexa DeFeo getting loose right now for the Monarchs. See how long the leash is here for Wesley.
Yeah, for Wesley going through the Smokes lineup, it's basically going up against Power 5 competition every single at bat. It's intense, and even those that aren't Power 5 are coming in. They're in this league for a reason. So every single at bat is almost very, very hard for a pitcher to get through, especially in this league.
That time Wesley working the top of the zone, 1-2 to Morgan Howe. For the season, 8 for 20 against this Monarch pitching staff. Another reason why this out's so important, you can see it behind Howe. Charlie Eccles is in the on-deck circle.
Yeah, and if you're Wesley, you definitely don't want to see Charlotte Eccles up at the plate, especially with what she did to you in the top of the first.
Well, also, too, obviously, if Howe were to reach, if she does so without a homer, there's runners on base, and you give Eccles an RBI chance if you do that, where if you retire Howe now, you have a chance to face Eccles with the bases empty to lead off an inning in the sixth. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Fly ball to left, and Hott's not going to get there. See that Monarch bullpen scattering with that ball, flying into the bullpen over there in lefts.
And active as well. Saw them getting some reps in earlier. Like you said, Brant, see how short the leash is when it comes to how much farther into the game Wesley's going to go.
I believe Trinity Schlotterbeck is also down there for the Monarchs in their pen. So Espinosa at first base and a 2-2 count to Howe. Fights off another pitch. The Smoke team at times has gotten really offensive with 2 outs. Talked about that 10-run inning they had against Hub City a few weeks ago. All 10 scoring with 2 down. They run ruled the Adelitas in that game, 14-0. 13 of those runs with 2 outs. Ground ball handled by Piper. And that'll do it for the Smoke in the 5th. Aspen Wesley is through 5 innings. She's held his potent lineup to just 3 hits and 2 runs. 2-1 game as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning here in gorgeous San Marcos. The sun starting to slowly set here in central Texas in San Marcos. Just south of the state capital of Austin, just north of the great city of San Antonio. A beautiful setting for WPF softball. San Marcos the home for a good chunk of the league this year, with both the Smoke and Monarchs calling this ballpark their home park this season. Got a good game here, 2-1 as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Smoke on top, Samantha Shao, 5th inning of work. She'll face Emily Hott to lead off the 5th. A swing and a miss starts the inning with, again, the Smoke on top, 2-1.
Great night for softball, too. The sun sets, temperature not too bad at all.
Yeah, one could argue it's not just a great night for softball, just a great night,
In
period,
general,
right?
Yeah.
For any outdoor activity. You know, something I wonder is that when the Smoke have home games here, there is a post-game fireworks show every Friday night. However, in this series, they're technically the road team.
So do they get the fireworks?
I'm wondering the same thing.
Might have to ask Brandon Phillips.
One, two. A swing and a miss, and Hot down on strike. Second strikeout for Shao. And Hot's 0 for 2. One down here in the 5th inning.
Yeah, that felt like that was just pure heat by Shao there. I mean, that one's just fast and straight down the middle and just completely beats the batter there for the first out of the inning.
Just kind of exploded over the plate.
Yes.
Now Brookshire, and that's tied for ball one. Susie Brookshire 0 for 1 in this game with a ground out. As you heard Davin mention earlier, former Big Sky Player of the Year at Sacramento State, 3 years with the Hornets. Then spent 1 year playing at San Jose State and then ended her career at Long Beach State. So a lot of time going up and down the California coast and North Cal and SoCal. There's a strike. 2-1 here to Brookshire.
As much SEC talent as there is on these teams, there's also a lot of California talent as well out on the West Coast. I bet they've never been to San Marcos before, unless they've been playing Texas State.
You know, a lot of times in pre-conference play, you know, there's a lot of those tournaments that involve multiple teams. So I'm sure, you know, I know for a fact that over the years, Pac-12 teams and Big Sky teams have made their way to San Marcos, especially that time of year. You know, this area is a very popular one for non-conference play. Although a lot of schools in California host tournaments as well. Kind of the reason being a lot of the northern programs, the Big Ten and some of the northern schools in the ACC, it's too cold to play at home that time of year. So they travel south and west.
Coming down to Texas is not a bad idea, especially in that time of the year for sure.
Full count to Brookshire with the bases empty. And she draws. So 1 out walk. Second walk given up by Shao. The tying run is on for the Monarchs in the 5th inning.
Great at bat for Brookshire there to get on, especially in this situation with 1 out. Definitely the ideal situation you want if you're the Monarchs, especially in these later innings.
Now to the plate, Sona Holojon. Another California product from San Anselmo. That's in there for a strike, 0-1.
Sana Holojon, Kelly Torres, actually the catcher for the Monarchs, has a podcast called the Softball Speakeasy Podcast. She had Sana on recently. She dedicated a lot of her success as a two-way player to actually meditating. And she's able to control her breath and how different it is being a hitter compared to a pitcher, and she have to have a different mindset. And she dedicates a lot of that success that she had in her collegiate career to the meditation.
Ground ball sharply hit up the middle for a base hit for Holojon. So the second hit of the game for the Monarchs, and now the tying run in scoring position, and the go-ahead run is on base.
And there you go. There's the meditation and work, you could say possibly. But no,
For
great
sure.
hit for sure for Sana there to get on with 1 out here for the Monarchs.
A great relaxing practice by Holojon. You ever tried it yourself?
I have
Meditation?
not. I should, but I definitely might, especially after watching her get that hit there. It kind of proves the point, right?
So that was all that you needed
That's
to
all
know?
I needed to see. I needed to see it in action.
So you
right?
saw that and were like, well,
I should start
meditation works, clearly.
Clearly, duh, yeah.
So meeting in the circle here, Shao in the infield, the batter now is Devin Flaherty. And after that, the top of the order here. Flaherty, a lot of great speed, as Davin highlighted earlier. All those stolen bases with Florida State. Maybe try to drop down a bunt to get herself on, could load the bases. Talking about what you do in that situation, if it comes to that. Depending on where she hits the ball, which base do you go to first? All that, the discussion here for the Smoke. 2 on, 1 away. And Flaherty keeps the bat on her shoulder and takes ball 1.
Flaherty definitely has the speed for it, for a bunt. Would not be surprised if she shows on this next at-bat.
One ball, no strikes, and Flaherty takes strike 1. Drew a walk against Shaw in her first at-bat.
You definitely see her, she was a little uneasy, especially after that last strike. Adjusting to the speed for sure. Trying to figure out what's going to work for her here at this very important at-bat.
Three and 1. Now, with Flaherty having drawn a walk early in the game and Shaw walking Brookshire in this inning, I would think Flaherty's probably going to take here on 3-1.
I would say so, and that would get them back to the top of the lineup with Briley St. Clair on deck.
No, she does swing and fouls it away. Strike 2.
So Xiao comes back all the way, and now Flaherty has to defend and possibly get on base here so to keep this inning going for the Monarchs.
Brookshire second, Halajan at first. Full count pitch is taken for ball 4. You can see Shao really wanted that call, or maybe a little frustrated that she didn't quite hit her spot. Either way, the base is now juiced, and the tying run is at third. Still just 1 out. 3 straight have reached after the inning started with a strikeout of Hot. Now to the top of the order to Briley St. Clair. Third time through here for Samantha Shao. And she has the early lead against St. Clair. No balls and a strike.
You can see a little activity going on in the Smokes bullpen currently, but they do trust Xiao, and she's gotten out of these situations before, so you could definitely see her getting out of this inning. And that's exactly what the Smoke want to see from her.
1 ball, 1 strike. Xiao, a couple of walks in the inning, sandwiched around the base hit by Halajan. Facing St. Clair for a 3rd time. And that's grounded fair. Throw to home for the force play in time. And guess who makes that play again? It's Charla Eccles with a flip to her catcher, Jaquish, at the plate.
And she's just been a wall over there at third base, not letting anything get by her, getting that, preventing that run, and holding the Monarchs to 1. Just an amazing toss there to the catcher for the out. No score from the Monarchs.
All right, so 2 away. Jaquish, good job keeping her foot on the plates. Eccles, even better job to make that heads-up play and to do so in time. Base is still loaded now as Kylie Sand bats. And a 2-1 game with a 5th. And that is a fair ball. No, it is foul just outside the line. Well, your heart skips a beat there if you're the Monarchs that close to taking the lead. That ball just getting pushed foul.
Sand just gets on top of this one right between the legs there of Sana. So close to being fair.
There you see it, Sona Holojohn at third. Now second, Flaherty. St. Clair at first base, nothing in one to Sand. And that is a soft liner gloved easily by Grimm, and the Monarchs lead the bases loaded. So Shao runs into trouble, but able to get herself out of the jam to protect this 2-1 lead. 5 innings in the books. To the 6th inning we go. We're back after this from San Marcos. Texas State head coach Ricky Woodard in attendance, along with her mom and one of her players in attendance here as well, Carmen Bass in the stands. 2 of her former players in this game. Sarah Vanderford has homered for the Monarchs in this game. Again, a great career for Ricky Woodard as a Texas State Bobcat. And her teammate Jessica Mullins at Texas State, now opponent, playing for the Smoke in uniform here tonight. Could maybe see her pitch later in the game. As we go to the 6th inning, Trinity Slaughterbeck is now into the game with the circle in place of Aspen Wesley. 5 strong innings for the Monarchs. 2 runs given up, just 1 of them earned. Off 3 hits, strikes out 3, and calls it a night.
But a good night for Aspen Wesley there. Went 5 innings and held her own and kept this Smoke team from doing what they do best, and that is capitalizing off base runners and getting those home runs in.
And they're looking Wesley. 85 pitches, her outing here tonight. And you said it, did her job. Holding this lineup to 2 runs across 5 innings is not an easy task. Again, this is a team that put up a ton of runs last week in the sweep of Hub City. Been doing so all year long. Hard to hold this lineup in check. And to avoid that big inning you always feel like it's coming, and it really never did against Wesley tonight, as Eccles lines 1 to hot and left. And 1 away here in the 6th inning. So again, Aspen Wesley, a great effort in the circle tonight for the Texas Monarchs. But now the job belongs to Trinity Slaughterbeck out of Williamsport, Maryland. Wrapped up her career in college at FAU this season. Before that, 4 years with the Maryland Terrapins out of the Big Ten. Savannah Jaquish takes the ball inside, 1 ball and no strikes. Slaughterbeck was the opening day starter for the Monarchs this year. Faced off against Shao in what was a win for the Monarchs at opening day. Won that game 4-2.
And that's consistent pitching right there for Schlotterbeck. I mean, she's got 9 strikeouts on the season, and she's coming in late in the game and looking to pick up where Wesley left off and just get out of this game and tack on some runs and give these hitters a chance.
However, though, if you're the Monarchs, boy, you had a great chance, didn't you, in the bottom of the 5th inning, loaded the bases, 1 out at the top of the order, and could not cash in. Jaquish rolls 1 to Vanderford. 2 outs in the inning. So you go back to that sequence, though, and there was that great play at third made by Charlotte Eccles, a weakly hit ball on that left side of the infield, made the force play at home to keep the lead intact, and then a line out to end the threats. And the Monarchs have now left 4 on in this game.
And great situational fielding by Charla Eccles there, and just able to get out of that inning as well.
And now Jazz Hill bangs a home run to left on a line. That ball got out of here in a blaze of a hurry. And Jazz Hill, just like that, has turned this back into a 2-run lead. Second home run of the game for the Smoke.
And that's what we've been talking about with this lineup. They're that good. Jazz Hill able to come in and add some more insurance to this lead. Even when you're thinking you're chipping away at them, they just hit you right back. What a shot by Hill there.
And for the Smoke, yet another 2-out home run. Solo shot courtesy of Jazz Hill. Second time she's homered against the Monarchs this year. Here's Samantha Shao, and she takes a strike. It is 0-1.
And it's got to be frustrating for the Monarchs. You get in these situations, you get to 2 outs, and then you think you're about to get out of the inning, and then a home run goes by, and then another home run goes by. So it's defeating, but you're still in this game.
That ball ripped to left, and that's foul. Shao with a huge turn, and see Hot in left field pointing herself. That ball went foul. It's not fair.
And she knew it as soon as it came off her bat. She straightens up here a little bit. Could be another one for the Smoke.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Shao to right field this time. That's going to dump in for a hit down the line. Shao, hard turn from first, on her way to second, and she is safe. So Samantha Shao testing the arm of Susie Brookshire, who, as we know, is not an easy person to run against, but able to leg out a double. It's good for a 2-bagger with 2 outs.
You could definitely see Shao look over there at Brookshire. We saw the play that she made earlier this game at the plate when Torres caught that ball, but not in time here for Shao, and she gets the double in scoring position.
At Brookshire early in the game, gunned down a runner at home. Shao testing her arm strength again, but able to beat it out. Slides in feet first. Another 2-out base hit here for the Smoke, and now a change for Kat Tarvin. Looks like Jada Cody's going to pinch hit in place of Maddie Grimm.
Jada Cody played in a lot of wins at UCF, 182 in her 4 years over there. Hit better than 300 in all 5 seasons.
You know, to play in 182 games at the Division I level is an accomplishment in of itself. To be in 182 wins really speaks to the strength of that UCF program in Orlando. Also a pinch runner coming in here with the Smoke. Kelly Gooden got a pinch run for Shao. Smoke dugout, getting a little jazzed up here after the back-to-back 2-out hits. Homered by Hill, double by Shao. And out of the plate, Jada Cody. 1 ball to no strikes, facing off against Trinity Schlotterbeck.
And this is what we've been talking about with this Smoke lineup. Again, they can just put it on you no matter what inning it is, how late in the game, how big the struggles have been. They can just drop it on you just like that. And if you're the Monarchs, you're still in this game, obviously, but you got to just keep thinking back to that 5th inning when you left all those runners on base and just weren't able to capitalize.
Well, here's a stat for you in this game. The Smoke, with no outs or 1 out, are 0 for 13. But with 2 outs in the game, they are 5 for 10. All 5 hits in the game for the Smoke have been with 2 outs.
So they just like the pressure.
Yeah. That is line foul. Count evens 2-2. You know, this team has been in a lot of high leverage situations, a lot of players back in last year's title team, and again, highlighting the college careers of all these players. They've been in so many big games. conference tournament games, regional games, supers, World Series. You don't get that far if you can't come through in pressure situations like 2 outs.
No, for sure. And each player out here, whether it's the Monarchs or the Smoke, have been tested in more ways than one, especially with their collegiate careers, playing at very high levels, obviously. And then once you get here, the stakes have been risen, the competition higher, and you're used to it, but also it's probably a different feel a little bit too.
That is grounded fair. That's a fair ball down the line. Gooden's going to score easily standing up. And yet another 2-out RBI run-scoring base hit. This time it is a pinch hit, 2-out double from Jada Cody.
What a hit here by Cody. Just down the third base line, able to squeeze past and able to add another run onto this lead for the Insurance. Squeeze right by Vanderford.
Was kind of a delay about the call itself. You never see a third base umpire, Jermaine O'Gwyn, make that call. It actually came from the home plate umpire, Antonio Flores. He was the one that pointed fair ball. There seemed to be kind of a delay in reaction, whether that was fair or foul. But a fair ball scores the run. And now one of the Monarch assistants, Tyler Guttleson, comes in to visit with Antonio Flores.
And it almost looked like, because of that, Vanderford delayed on her attempt at that ball.
Let's take a look at this again.
Squeeze right by Vanderford. And you can almost see the delay that she makes because of the umpire at third.
Now again, the ball first bounces in fair territory, but shy the third base bag. If it goes foul before then, it's a foul ball. It's not a fair ball. And that was so close to the line as well. Now, we've talked about this at our WPF telecast here in San Marcos. There is no replay here in the WPF like there is in the college game. Would definitely think that would be reviewed. You know, the couple of looks that we've gotten at it, don't know if there'd be enough to overturn that if replay were a thing. Really tight call made by Antonio Flores, and as a result, another run scores. And again, with 2 outs, the inning began with a couple of outs for Eccles and Jaquish. Since then, a home run and back-to-back doubles. 2 runs are in. And here comes another pinch hitter, Mandy Perez, hitting in place of Anna Marie Bruning.
And again, just another frustrating circumstance for the Monarchs again, along with the errors and runners in scoring position. And you tack on that, I mean, it's defeating and it's hard to bounce back from. But again, you got to keep playing. Top of the 6th.
1-1 strike to Perez from Poway, California. 2 years at Arizona State, 2 years at Fresno State. Ground ball back to Slaughterback, and that will finally end the top of the 6th inning. But again, the Smoke with 2 outs, some more offense. A 2-out homer from Jazz Hill, back-to-back doubles with 2 down, scoring another run. And with that, it is 4-1 Smoke, the lead over the Monarchs. Talked about her earlier, Jessica Mullins, also known as Mully, on the Texas State Bobcat Championship team this past year that won the Sun Belt title. And Mullins in the circle now in relief of Samantha Chow, who turns in 5 innings for the Smoke, hands the ball off to Jessica Mullins. Great numbers in her final college season. Mullins, first team All-American this year at a 1.45 ERA, 12th lowest in the country, 222 strikeouts, 31 wins, second most in the nation.
Jessica Mullins very familiar with this field, obviously Texas State, and of course look who she's going up against first, her former teammate Sarah Vanderford, up to bat to lead off things here for the Monarchs in the bottom of the 6th.
These two did face each other opening weekend when the Monarchs played the Smoke back in June, facing off here to start the bottom of the 6th in a 4-1 game. First pitch, Vanderford rips that one foul. Again, the Smoke scoring a couple of runs with 2 outs in the top of the 6th inning. Got a 2-out solo homer from Jazz Hill. And then back-to-back doubles, courtesy of Shao and Cody. Now some breathing room here for Mullins as she comes out of the bullpen.
And Mullins, again, one of the many Smoke players who's familiar with high-stress situations, especially coming out of the pen, which she's not used to. She started to hear a lot for Texas State, but when you've got Jessica Mullins' talent coming out of your bullpen, you have a pretty solid team overall, pitching-wise, and then not even to mention the bats the Smoke have.
These two arguably two of the best players in the history of Texas State's rich program. The Bobcats have had so many great pitchers over the course of their program's history, with Ricky Woodard as head coach, and Mullins an excellent line of so many greats. Meanwhile, Vanderford arguably one of the best hitters ever. You brought up the stats earlier, program's all-time leader in home runs, doubles. At Texas State, here she takes a strike on the off-speed, 2-2. Also the program's all-time leader in RBI and total bases.
And that's why this past Texas State softball team had so much success. Winning the 2024 Sun Belt Conference Tournament here in San Marcos was a great feat for both of these players' career.
Mullins here gets a better of her ex-teammate, strikes her out looking. Sure, those two will talk about this one later.
There might be a few texts after the game.
And Mullins got her this time. A strikeout starts the 6th inning. So Mullins right out of the pen and going to work right away. Strikes out Vanderford looking at the top of the zone. Nobody on, 1 down. That'll bring up Kelly Torres, who's 0 for 2. Vanderford, who just struck out, responsible for the Monarchs' lone run, a solo homer the 4th inning off of Shao. Shao's final line tonight, 5 innings, just the 1 run given up, only 2 hits, struck out 2 and walked 3. But again, that kind of key for the Monarchs in this game, not taking advantage of the 3 walks. None of those walked batters would come home to score.
It's just been an overall frustrating night probably for the Monarchs, and coming out here, having a few errors, and none of those walks coming in home. I mean, especially against a Smoke team that you know that you have their number. You're their only blemish on their record.
Torres ground ball to the vacuum at third base. Charla Eccles makes the play at third. 2 outs in the inning. Torres 0 for 3. And more on Mullins this year in this ballpark with this Smoke franchise, not counting her success with Texas State. 3-0 in the WPF. More than 15 innings, she has struck out 12 and has only given up 4 earned runs. And one of those wins opening weekend against the Monarchs as Piper steps in and takes strike 1.
These batters having to come in and readjust speed-wise to a new pitcher, and not just any pitcher, Jessica Mullins coming out of the pen and showing some fresh new pitches and a fresh arm. Hard for these Monarch hitters to get adjusted this late in the game.
Piper pops up. Jay Cush couldn't locate it. Well, again, such a deep pitching staff for Cat Tarbin and the Smoke. Samantha Shaw, the starter, great two-way player in the World Series twice before with Oklahoma State, Texas A&M. Now to the bullpen, the Mullins, two-time Sun Belt Pitcher of the Year. This year's ACC Pitcher of the Year, Jalen Wright on the staff as well. Ground ball from Piper. What a play by Janae Jefferson at second base. Nothing getting by the Smoke infield defense tonight. Charl Eccles has taken her turn. This time, it was Janae Jefferson's. A great dive and a throw ends the sixth inning with the Smoke on top of the Monarchs, 4-1. Leading off this inning is today Jefferson, who moments ago made such a great play second base. Remarkable, this team has kept its winning streak intact without the services of Jefferson. Gone the past few weeks with the U.S. national team, and she is picked right back up where she left off. He's had some good at-bats and a great play second base moments ago. And with that, we go to the seventh inning in a three-run game. Smoke on top, 4-1. 2 runs in the first for the Smoke, 2 more in the sixth. All 4 runs scoring with 2 outs. And for the Monarchs, the lone run, a Sarah Vanderford homer in the 4th inning. That's been it.
Yeah, I'm sure the Smoke are glad to have Janae back in an already stacked lineup, especially coming on in as their leadoff hitter.
Again, so many of the games the past couple of weeks in the league have been really offensive, high scoring, but tonight relatively low scoring. 4 runs off 6 hits and no errors for the Smoke. The 1 run on just 2 hits and a couple of errors for the Monarchs.
Especially for the Smoke, who have been just on a tear when it comes to scoring runs. They kind of a slow night for them almost, if you will.
Jefferson and able to get a ball in the gap. Bounces off the warning track and then off the wall. And Jefferson has a 2-out double to lead off the 7th inning.
And if you're the Smoke right now, you're just looking to tack on some insurance runs, get some better comfortability when it comes to Jessica Mullins in the circle, extend that lead, and slowly choke out this Monarchs lineup.
And that is the first hit of the game for the Smoke that didn't come with 2 outs. Now Lorraine Espinoza has her home run streak perhaps on the line here. It's over to 6 straight games. Over 2 with a walk and a run scored tonight.
Especially if you're at the top of this lineup here for the Smoke. This is where they do a lot of their damage and can get on you really quickly.
Throw back to second base, and a good job there by Sand to keep that ball from going into the outfield. So now 7 hits for the Smoke, 5 for extra bases, 3 doubles, and a couple of homers. And for Jefferson, that hit moments ago, her second tonight. Espinoza with a fly ball to left, and she has done it for his 7th straight game. Silent Rain Espinoza going deep again. It is 6-1, Smoke on top.
What a shot by Espinoza here. Again, this is where the Smoke do a lot of their damage early on in their lineup, and it just keeps going from there. But again, a great shot, more insurance runs for the Smoke, and the lead is definitely extending.
A remarkable streak now for Silent Rain Espinoza. 7 consecutive games with a home run. This one opposite field. 3rd homer of the night for the Smoke. And now a 6-run cushion. We think about Slaughterbeck, comes out of the bullpen, retires the first 2 batters she's faced. And since then, of the following 6 hitters, 5 of them with hits, 3 of those doubles, 2 of them home runs. Nothing in 1 to Jake Wish. Nobody on, nobody out, top of the 7th. And the Smoke on top, 6-1.
And Aspen Wesley had a solid game for the innings that she went. And the Monarchs were able to stay within a reasonable distance of the Smoke. But again, like we've been mentioning throughout the broadcast, Brent, the Smoke can just put on these runs, tack them on slowly, and just eventually, next thing you know, it's the bottom of the 7th. You don't have any time left. You don't have any innings left. And that's just kind of how this team has operated. Almost a slow night, though, for the Smoke, who have been just ballistic when it comes to the runs and home runs this year.
1-2 to Morgan Howe. And that's weakly hit back up the middle to Slaughterbeck, who rifles out to Piper for the first out of the inning. And a quiet night for Morgan Howe. The 3-hole tonight for the Smoke. She's 0 for 4. 1 away in the inning, and that's going to bring up Charlotte Eccles.
Of course, Eccles, the homer to the left field in the top of the 1st. We got the Smoke scoring started in this game.
So again for this team, 15 home runs last week against Hub City. And they are up to 3 in this game. Eccles, Espinoza, and Hill. Ground ball to seconds, right to Kylie Sand. And now 2 outs.
And again, you're thinking 2 outs here. We're almost out of this, but of course, as we've seen tonight, the Smoke can tack it on you with 2 outs. It's not over until the final out is completely in the mitt and everyone's in the dugout. The Smoke team is serious, and they're looking for another championship.
Jake Wish takes ball 1. With so many times, the Smoke just take the drama out of the game, right? You're thinking, you know, in the 6th inning is 2-1, the bases are empty, there's 2 outs, and this game could come down to a dramatic final pitch, final out, but now a 5-run lead. Here we are, 3 doubles and a couple of home runs later, and doesn't feel as dramatic as it once did.
No, not at all. And it feels like just about an inning or so ago it was going to come down to the wire, but man, the just consistency at the bats for the Smoke.
Not many holes in this lineup, 1 through 9. So tough for pitchers to navigate through, as we've seen throughout the season. There's a reason why this team is 18-1.
Again, the Monarchs have another 3 games this weekend to come back out and show why they beat them in the first place in the opening series. But again, it's going to be a tough one to bounce back from after tonight, especially when you were in such close of striking distance.
Little check swing there that shoots foul for Jake Wish. 1 for 2, she's been on twice. For LSU's all-time RBI leader, more than 260 in her time with the Tigers. We've got game 2 of the series on deck tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Game 3 Saturday at 6. The finale scheduled for 1 o'clock Sunday afternoon. And that's going to fill the count, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Great at bat here for Jake Wish. I mean, just taking on that and fouling these pitches off, she's having a great at bat, even with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. Looking to get on for sure and add even more runs than they have already.
Jaquish to ground ball to third. Vanderford with a long throw to Piper to end the inning. But again, the Smoke adding to their lead. Silent Rain Espinoza for a 7th consecutive game has gone deep. And with that, it is 6-1 champs on top of the Monarchs as we head to the bottom of the 7th. The Monarchs are down to their final 3 outs, needing 5 runs to score. Coming up in the order for the Monarchs, Emily Hott, Susie Brookshire, and Sona Halajan, batters 6, 7, and 8 for head coach Candace Fitton-Bachrader. Her team was fighting tooth and nail, toe-to-toe with this team through the first 5+ innings. It was a 2-1 game at the top of the 6th. Bases empty, 2 outs. The Smoke at the plates. Got a 2-out rally, scoring twice more the 7th, and now a more comfortable 5-run lead with Hott leading off against Jessica Mullins. And take strike 1.
Monarchs fighting to not drop their 6th game in a row. Trying to stay afloat here.
Huge hill to climb against Mullins here. Down by 5 as Hott falls behind a couple of strikes. Mullins came into the game with a 6 after a 5-inning start from Samantha Shao. And retired the Monarchs and ordered it back in the 6th inning.
And the batters that are currently up for the Monarchs, not much success today. Hott 0 for 2, Brookshire 0 for 1. The only one that's had success is Sona, and that was against Wesley. So she has not even seen Vanderford, or excuse me, Mullins.
That gets a piece of Hott. And so the start that the Monarchs needed, leadoff runner is on. And that is the first time that has happened for the Monarchs in this game. So a runner on, nobody out. I'm going to bring up Susie Brookshire as Hott talks to her first base coach. Again, Brookshire, in a game that's had so many great defensive plays, had perhaps the first one of the night, that great throw from the outfield and right to gun down a runner at home.
You know, this Monarchs team has made some great defensive plays, and again, the score doesn't tell the whole story. At one point, the Monarchs were within striking distance of this Smoke team, and now they find themselves behind by 5.
A little quick chat here between Jaquish and Mullins, and now Jefferson comes in to join the conversation. As he's followed behind Brookshire, 2 balls and no strikes after hitting Emily Hott.
Probably telling Mullins just to slow down a bit and gather herself. As you can see, she takes a deep breath there and gets ready for her next pitch.
Last time we saw Mullins pitch here was against Coastal Bend a couple of weeks ago. A complete game effort and a win for the Smoke. 9 strikeouts that night. Again, the great defense we've seen. Brookshire in the outfield for the Monarchs. Some great plays by Jefferson and Eccles in the infield for the Smoke. That's fouled away. Feels the count 3-2.
Great defensive plays and also great pitching as Mullins fights back here to even the count 3-2 and get back in this at bat and get one out closer to closing this one for the Smoke.
This game really feels like it's been defined by the two-out hitting by the Smoke and the great defense from both teams.
And Eccles is probably one of the key components of that great defense just in this game, being a complete brick wall over there at third base, preventing a lot of Monarchs plays and a lot of their scoring.
Brought up the stat earlier that Eccles and Vanderford, the two third basemen in this game, in 2023, last year, those two were rated as the best third baseman defensively in the nation. There's a deep drive to left, and Brookshire going deep. So Susie Brookshire with a home run, and the Monarchs trying to spark themselves back into the game. It is a 3-run game now, and still nobody out here in the 7th.
And those insurance runs by the Smoke look a little bit more important now as Brookshire homers over to left center field. I mean, what an absolute shot by her with a 3-2 count.
Brookshire twice set single-season home run records in her time at Sacramento State. Going deep here. Now a 3-run game.
And that all starts when Hott is able to get on first as a leadoff hitter and able to capitalize on it and bring this game within 3.
So that brings out the pitching coach, Jessica Jacobson, to visit with Mullins here. So got ahead of Hott, 2 strikes, and then hit her. Brookshire on a full count, hits a home run. A 3-run game, and coming up, Sona Halajan, then Devin Flaherty, and then the top of the order. So the Monarchs not done just yet.
And this is the fight that we saw from those Monarchs that beat the Smoke in the opening series. I mean, they're finding it right now, and you can see a little bit of life more in that dugout.
Here's Halajan, nobody on, nobody out, 3-run game now.
Halajan, of course, singling in the 5th back when Wesley was still pitching, looking for some success here against Mullins.
1-0 pitch is taken for ball 2. Both teams playing a lot of long ball tonight. 3 homers for the Smoke, now 2 for the Monarchs. 2 other 3 hits have been homers.
And then Mullins just likes to see that. Getting a strike, making this 2-1 a little bit more manageable for her.
We talk about a pitcher who has been in high leverage situations in this ballpark so many times over. Jessica Mullins. Got to imagine pitching in a tie game with the 7th inning here, nothing new to her.
Nothing new, and honestly, she probably feels a lot more comfortable than a lot of these players, especially since this is her home field, and she's used to the pressure, used to the dirt, the environment, everything around.
On the ground, and this will lead to the inning's first out, taken care of by Jefferson. And important there for Mullins to get that out after surrendering the home run to Brookshire.
No, that one was important right there for Mullins. It gives her more confidence going back into the circle. Of course, you know, when you have a stellar defense with Eccles over at 3rd and Jefferson at 2nd, I mean, you can feel a little bit more comfortable. And though this lead has shortened, I mean, it is still a lead that you can work with and especially get out of this inning and close this game out.
All right, so here's Devin Flaherty. She's walked twice, facing Mullins now for the first time. First pitch to swinging. It falls behind 0-1.
You can see that confidence come back from Mullins just a little bit more. You can see she's a little bit more composed, a little bit more relaxed, and that first out was very important.
Boy, how great would the moment be if the Monarchs can get a couple of base runners by the time Sarah Vanderford's due up?
That would be the perfect storyline, everything in the world, especially if Coach Woodard is still here. I think that's exactly what she came here for.
There's Vanderford. She's 4 batters away. She's not guaranteed to hit, but if the Monarchs again can get a couple on, she might. That's outside 3-1.
I'm sure Vanderford would love another shot at her former teammate, Jessica Mullins. That'd be a nice get one on her before the game's up.
Swing and a miss. A little late on that swing by Flaherty. Fills the count 3-2.
Mullins able to fight back again. Just chipping away at these batters, and these batters trying to time Mullins out and get some success here with the bats.
Player waiting on deck is Briley St. Clair. The Smoke jumped out to a 2-0 lead of the first inning. They have led throughout, but now the Monarchs trying to climb back in it. Got a 2-run homer from Brookshire earlier in the inning. A 3-run game now. The bases are empty, 1 out. And the top of the order is due up as Flaherty bats here in the 7th and strikes out. Second strikeout for Mullins, and now the Monarchs down to their final out.
And this was just pure heat from Mullins. I mean, we've seen it time and time again from her, and she's a great closer as she is a starter. She's been in these situations before. She knows just how to get things done and get out of these games unscathed.
All right, so the base is clear for Briley St. Clair. St. Clair is 0 for 3 with a strikeout in this game. Hitting at the top of the order here for the Monarchs. A team again mired in a 5-game losing skid. We talked a lot about Vanderford, the impact she's had tonight, some plays at third, and again the home run she hit earlier was not with the team last week at Coastal Bend. Big to have her back in the lineup, and the Monarchs would love to give her a chance in the 7th inning.
Yeah, Vanderford's been a sensational rookie and a great pickup for this Monarchs team.
But now the Monarchs are down to their final strike. Mullins ahead of St. Clair, 1-2. Kylie Sanders on deck. If those two can reach, it would bring up Vanderford. And Sam, you could see it. Thought about it for a second. Doesn't pull the trigger. Bat stays at her shoulder. It's 2-2.
You saw the twitch there, Brant. She thought about it for a split second, but able to stay in the box and stay alive here.
Fly ball to center. Anna Marie Bruni is underneath it and will make the catch, and the winning streak continues. 16 straight wins for the Texas Smoke. They take the opener by a final score of 6-3. And they just continue to dominate here in the 2024 season. Mullins taking care of the Monarchs in the final 2 innings as the Smoke take the opener here. And her play of the game, Charla Eccles. Started off the Knights with a home run with 2 outs in the first inning, a 2-run bomb for Eccles, the player that went deep 3 times last week in the series against Hub City with a moonshot to right. Gave the Smoke an early 2-0 lead, and then after that, Dalvin, it was her defense taking over this game.
Yeah, her defense was just a key part to this game. She was making plays left and right, preventing scoring, just all over the field tonight on both sides. and just able to get things done for this Smoke team, which, I mean, the success speaks for itself. The winning streak continues, and as for the Monarchs, they're looking to bounce back for tomorrow.
And again, tomorrow's Game 2 is set for a 7 o'clock start in San Marcos. We'll have it for you here on YouTube. So, Davin, a pleasure working with you. Looking forward to the remainder of the series.
Yes, no, for sure. It's going to be a good one, especially since you saw that Monarchs team come back to life there in those later innings. I mean, if you're the Monarchs, you're, of course, disappointed for tonight's result. But at the end of the day, you have to go into the rest of the weekend thinking and knowing that you have a shot. You have their number. You've beat them before. You can get a chance at them again sometime this weekend.
Well, that's going to wrap up our coverage of the series opener. For Davin Meredith, I'm Brant Freeman saying so long from San Marcos. The final score, the Texas Smoke 6, the Monarchs 3. For more information on WPF, log on to WProFastpitch.com. This has been a presentation of the WPF. Until next time, good night from Bobcat Softball Stadium.